Guys, Sensei here, back with another video. Today is the big day. I'm literally about to turn the computer on right now, about to stream it. What time is it right now? 12:22. We got like 40 minutes until it's game time, but if I'm uploading this, it's probably right as the fight is going on. I wanted to make this video because I've seen a lot of hate on KSI and JJ and just his personality, how he is in terms of his cockiness and his arrogance leading up to the fight. And I don't know if you guys felt that way before, but I just recently met him and I got a chance to spend some time with him. Obviously, I'm biased towards him because I know him and I'm obviously rooting for him and I trained him, but I have some judgment behind the scenes as well. Definitely don't get to see in the camera because I watch his videos and the person that I met is more of a complete person than you just see obviously on camera, because the camera's not on somebody all the time. And that's the biggest thing you guys don't realize. The camera isn't on somebody all the time. They may seem like they're really all nice and a good person, and deep down they may not. Or vice versa. They may just be entertaining and being boastful, obviously with this fight and stuff, and you may think that that's the case. I personally was really impressed with the KSI and the whole event because I stayed at the Simon House for 5 days and I wasn't sure how it was going to be. I only talked with KSI a few times through Twitter when we set this thing up, and he was really cool. And I met him in person, but it was really like in pass-by almost. It was at like an event, a party, so it wasn't like anything like that. So I wasn't sure how it was going to be. I thought it was going to be more like I just, stay in the room, we go to train, we do our thing, and we go back to our room. It was kind of like that, but the hospitality was just amazing. First of all, when I went there was a room set up for me, the bathroom was all set up, everything was good to go. He had a chef who was cooking for him and preparing his meals for his nutrition and his diet plan, and he had a chef cook me meals as well. So everything he was making for him, they made another one for me. And he was constantly checking in to make sure everything was good and so forth. And also a big thing, he was super receptive to information. I know some of you may think that someone like this is lucky, but that's one of the biggest concerns. I feel like I want to talk about this because when you have someone like even the FaZe guys, when I meet them, they all share this similar characteristic, the same trait, that they get very obsessive and passionate about something. So it's not really that they're lucky or they happen to be good at something and it just worked out for them. Obviously they got some good breaks, but these guys would be successful, I think, in anything if they put that same energy. Not successful at anything, but if they put that same energy and attitude and obsession that they had, that I don't care what happens, I'm gonna achieve it no matter what. Don't really care about what people say. They don't get concerned about, the public persona or their parents or whatever. They just literally focus on that one goal and they do everything they can to accomplish it. And that's literally inspiring for me because I see that, and it's proven to me over and over and over again whenever I meet people who are successful, especially in this industry. They share that same attitude. And he was receptive to so much information. Literally the first night I got there, and I can talk forever, and I know that. And so when it comes to me training somebody, I'm even worse. So the first night we're there, I show up, I'm like 4 hours late because of my delay, and we sit down, he wants to go over sparring footage. It's like midnight, or it's like close to midnight, and we sit there and we break down sparring footage for like 4 hours to go over information. So he's only been training for 4 months. And I was really impressed with someone only 4 months training, how well he did. Being super respectful, wasn't kind of just like, oh, I got that, or like, Sensei may show me a few things. He wanted to get every piece of information that he could, to get every edge that he could, and he was respecting I feel, the sport. He was respecting the sport in terms of he wants to learn the game. He doesn't want to cut corners, outrunning. He was training every day. He's not trying to cheat the game or cut corners here. As you can tell, literally he transformed his body in 4 months. Ridiculous transformation. I was surprised when I saw him, and I've seen some videos recently. This is absolutely insane. And he's just like, yeah, like I'm focused. I'm like, locked in. So to me, that's where the confidence comes from. He literally has put in the work. He's been, eating the food that he hates. He's been waking up and running longer than he wants to, and changing his body and changing his lifestyle for this one thing completely, not just a little bit, so that he can achieve this thing. Also, this whole thing that he may be like a bully and stuff like that, I don't really understand that. I can get what you're saying, but they're fighting. When it comes to a fight game, I'm the nicest person. When it comes to a fight game, we're gonna be in there, we're gonna be fighting. But I don't have that type of persona where I like to talk smack. I'm like really respectful and stuff like that, but that's just me. There's nothing wrong with doing that. I don't think there's anything wrong with the Conor McGregors, the Muhammad Ali's of the world, because it's a mental warfare as well. You want to win the mental game and you want to win the physical game. I don't really care about the mental game too much. That's my style, but I know that it's very effective. So I know that if you do employ it, it's probably going to work very well. And if you win that battle, it's going to help your fight. Because if some people win the battle over me, I know that's gonna hurt me. So if they're gonna try to get that edge with somebody else, it makes sense. So a lot of that is fight games. So if Joe tried to use that against him when they're just using a war of words in terms of getting ready for a fight, that is pretty low, because you understand that we're about to fight each other and try to knock each other out. Like the words that we're saying to each other are going to be talking about each other. I'm trying to get in your head and make you doubt yourself. I'm trying to make you lose your confidence. I'm trying to make you doubt your self-image, your self-esteem, all those things, so that when I go in there, I have a better chance to win. That is the fight game at its essence. This is not a sport. It's not like at a sporting event like where it's like just a game. It is the fight game. And so I'm trying to protect myself from you hurting me, and I'm trying to hurt you. That's the name of the game. So being nice, I guess before the fight, this doesn't make any sense to me. After the fight, you know, if you want to, yes, but that's just whatever, that's up to them. Now the other thing, he is actually a really, really nice guy, like super unselfish, like just like little things, like, oh, I wanted to sit in the front seat, or what was the other thing? We were sitting and watching the fight, and there wasn't a chair in the room, and like I think Jasper wanted to give up the chair. Like, no. He went to his room, got his chair. Like just little things that you may not expect. Whereas hospitality is just, he's just very, very respectful. Like we were training in the gym. It's called the Gym Box in like downtown London. I was hungry. I wanted to get some food before we trained. There was a mall area, and I didn't want him to go outside into the mall because obviously he's gonna be bombarded. And he was like, no, cool, let's go. So we're walking. He's trying to duck, and I felt bad because these people are, you know, bombarding him because he's like out in public in the mall. But he was just so cool about it when he interacted with fans and these people who are really pushing the envelopes, trying to get pictures and stuff. But he was just really cool, really down to earth type of guy. And then to find out that in high school and him growing up, he wasn't like the super talkative, outgoing personality that you see on YouTube. Very down to earth, very like cool, likes being like laid back and stuff like that. Which was a really big surprise to me because I imagine being from the States, it's a little bit different. I imagine, you know, in high school, he must have been that type of guy too. Like that must have been just part of his personality, but it was YouTube that kind of brought him out and allowed him to get out of his shell. So the moral of the story is don't judge a book by its cover. I almost did. I didn't have anything bad, but I just didn't expect the intense hospitality and unselfishness that he had. I sparred 4 rounds with him, and my job from his training was to beat him up, to really take him through to deep waters and to challenge him and push his will and so forth. And I hit him with some real shots. The shots that even some of my students don't come back from, or if they do, they kind of wilt the rest of the rounds. And every time I hit him, his best round of sparring was the 4th round, the last round that I sparred with him. And that was after I already put a lot of pressure and a lot of heat and hit him with some real shots. And he literally ate them. And you could tell he hasn't been really hit by those a lot because that was part of my job. And the other person that was there, he mentioned it in the interview. So to see him come back and someone only been training for 4 months and to put some leather on me and to rock me a couple times and my lip was bloody. At certain points, I'm like, man, I was thinking like, dude, this dude, and his cardio was really good. I'm like, man, this guy actually pushing the pace. At one point, I was like, I gotta put them down. I gotta knock him down because I'm getting tired and I'm not in fight shape, but I didn't expect this. So I was just really impressed overall with seeing where he transformed from 4 months to now. And it's just, to me, that demonstrates his attitude and his personality. He's not someone who's like unappreciative and he's confident and he has all these things. Like, no, he's somebody who has worked hard, grinded, didn't have all these natural personality traits, stepped out of his shell and made his own, you know, world and made his own lifestyle and earns every right to be confident. And then he was challenged, obviously the whole challenge with Joe. He was in shape, transformed his body. So to see someone who's a YouTuber that has no understanding of the fight game. I've been in the fight game, I've been in martial arts since I was a little kid. For only 4 months and be able for him to step in there and actually fight me and see him spar like that and to see him actually take the game seriously where he's never experienced anything like that. Like American football, or like wrestling, something that has that type of veracity. He's never had that. So to see him transform to what he was before into that in a short period of time is ridiculous. So if you're hating on him on face value, you should look more into it and don't always judge a book by its cover. He's gonna win this. I'm super nervous, but I'm super confident. I love you, bro. You got this. Oos.